Hey everyone, today I got the Marvel Legends Deluxe Nimrod Sentinel, this time released as a standalone figure. Its design draws straight from the futuristic Sentinel seen in the X-Men comics, with Nimrod originally debuting in the Uncanny X-Men number 191. The box art looks fantastic. As you can see, it has a collage of comic panels on it that are washed in black and various cool gradients of blue, and this type of artwork is present on other areas of the box. Also present on the front are the Marvel Legends and X-Men logos. The left side shows an awesome comic shot of Nimrod in flight. And the right side features another image of the character. And the back also features another dynamic image of him, this time unleashing destruction on a building. You also get a quick bio and a second collage design, this one in sharp yellow tones. And up top, there's an X logo. And the bottom has the usual info. Nimrod's head sculpt is strikingly angular, sleek, sharp, and unmistakably futuristic, perfectly echoing his origin as a sentinel from the future. Then across the face, in the entire plated head sculpt, there's a network of geometric angles and facets that gives the design a high-tech, almost alien precision. Surrounding the overall facial area is an angled outer frame, and the face itself rises with layered plating, finished in a dark pink tone, while dark shading under the robotic cheekbones adds depth. His eyes are solid white, and slanted grooves carve across the forehead, reinforcing that engineered intensity. And the nose is basically trapezoidal in shape. The open mouth reveals a voice box-like mechanism accented in black and light pink, and the overall expression is locked in a battle-ready intensity. Also, black line work traces the sides and lower portion of the face, sharpening the contours even more. Then surrounding it all is smooth white armor plating marked with pink accents. And coming down over the forehead is a trapezoid piece that connects over and through the outer frame. And this piece helps to both frame and complete a head sculpt that looks amazing. So overall, a phenomenal take on Nimrod. Nimrod's overall robotic body frame is massive and broad-shouldered, giving the cyborg an imposing presence. Overall, the frame is bulky and wrapped in reinforced plating that gives the whole body a fortress-like feel. The torso is large, and the first thing that grabs your eye is a semi-transparent, deep purple triangular panel at its center. This is Nimrod's energy projector, his chest-mounted power beam emitter, which channels concussive blast straight from his internal systems. Also, the white armor plating carries a shiny, smooth finish, as it's marked with sharp angular contours that echo the design of the head sculpt. You can also see that the bold pink angular accents are detailed across the torso. Therefore, thick angular marks on the shoulders and lower torso form a triangle on the ends, while a thin pink line sits just beneath the raised section. And at the center of the abdomen, a white triangular motif is present. The massive arms look fire, and the shoulder plating is on point with all those sharp, angular panels. And there's a small error right here, but it's nothing major. Also, the mechanism on the center of the arms almost looks like a gear, and there are clean mechanical ridges running along the middle of the forearms and capping off at the ends. And the pink line work finishing in a triangle on the forearms is a nice touch. Furthermore, the angular fingers and the hands overall are super clean. The massive legs are just as sleek and well built, matching the rest of the build. And where the legs meet the torso, you get that pink ribbed detailing, and the segmented thigh plates and angular knees look fantastic. Also, the thick pink line work looks very good. I also like how the lower legs flare out into those big rounded boots. Total futuristic cyborg vibes. Then the feet have several circular nodes underneath, which is a nice detail. As for the back, it looks very awesome, and the angular design finish on the spine and overall back area ties everything together. Amazing work. For the accessories, here's the alternate head sculpt, and it's a whole different look. Thanks to Nimrod's adaptive nanotech, he can reshape his entire form, face included, and this sculpt shows it off very nicely as it looks really good. So let's break it down. This second head sculpt has a recessed facial plate set deeper into the white and pink plating, while the first one sticks out, has an elongated face, and has a larger outer white frame around the face. Also, this one has an inner and narrow white outline around the face, while the original sculpt doesn't have that. The eyes are still light colored, but now narrow and slit-like compared to the wider look on the first head. No trapezoid nose this time, and the prominent cheekbones are also not present. Also, the interior of the mouth is black and silver, with the silver looking almost like teeth, plus a black and silver grill piece on the sides. The pink finish on the second face is a little lighter overall compared to the first one, and a triangular piece drapes down over the middle of the head, as opposed to the trapezoid piece seen on the first one. Bottom line, the face structures are completely different, and this second head is basically Nimrod's standard look, when his face is basically neutral. Here's the rest of the accessories. We get 2 blast effects in a semi-translucent finish. As for the design, the red/orange sections form a cone shape, while the pink parts spiral around them in a corkscrew pattern, with jagged, twisted flame-like ridges that make the energy look concentrated and intense. Overall, they look awesome. The alternate robotic fisted hands look great too. Therefore, the clean sculpt and sharp colors really pop. Alright, comparison time. Here's Nimrod from the Amazon 3-pack side by side with the new version. And before we dive in, you can see that they use the exact same body sculpt, same frame, same molding. Even these particular head sculpts share the same fundamental sculpting, which you can pretty much tell at a glance. Also, you can see that both base body molds are finished in white, but the new Nimrod pops a bit brighter than the original. The main differences are in the paint apps on the base body molds and these particular head sculpts, which I'll go over. Also, we'll look at the various differences between the alternate 3-pack head sculpt compared to the other 2020 Nimrod head sculpt here on the left and the ones from the new release. The accessory differences we'll examine too. So, I'll break all that down in just a sec. So first up, the head sculpts. The molding is identical on both, but the color work for these particular two is where they really diverge. The angled outer frame on the old version is red, while the new one switches to white, matching the mostly white head sculpt. Plus, there are 2 pink sections that the old figure doesn't have. And, around the back, the angled pieces are white on the new sculpt and red on the old one. Moving to the face, the new Nimrod uses a pink faceplate, while the old one goes metallic silver. The old figure's eyes are solid white, while the new one's eyes are a very light shade, so they're not completely white, as they have a hint of yellow mixed in. Moreover, the mouth on the new version is black and silver, with matching black and silver cheek grills. On the old one, both the mouth area and the cheek grills are fully black. And one last detail, the new version has a white inner outline around the face that the older sculpt doesn't include. Then here's the alternate head sculpt from the Amazon 3-pack from 2020. This one definitely differs from the original, as white takes over the frontal outer frame, with red tracing the edges. And the centerpiece in the middle of the head is trapezoid in shape instead of a triangle. Also, the whole face is a deep red, including the inner lining around it. Moreover, the eyes shift to a sharp triangular shape, and the nose follows that trapezoid design. Then the mouth angles downward. Now in terms of similarities, both have red angular pieces at the back, and they're both primarily white. So all the differences you notice between both of the 2020 Nimrod head sculpts certainly carry over with the new version, as you can clearly see the contrast again. The only real constant is that both these two versions keep the mostly white head sculpt design, including the white outer frame section. So there's that. Alright, here's the alternate 2020 Nimrod head sculpt next to the new version's other head sculpt, and you can see some clear differences right away. The alternate face from the 3-pack is more recessed and shorter, while the new one isn't. And the older sculpt has red line detailing around the outer frame, a red face, red inner lining, a downward turned mouth, and cheek grill sections, none of which appear on the new version. Both have trapezoid pieces on the forehead, but the new one's is more squared off. The outer frame on the older head is also thinner and not as sprawling. And even the back panel finish is different, with the older sculpt carrying those red accents you saw earlier. Moving on to the torso, the 3-pack version has thin red lines, while the new one swaps them for thick pink markings that taper into triangles on the shoulders and lower torso. Also, the chest energy emitter shifts from a transparent pink on the old version to a deep purple on the new one. On the arms, the older figure keeps the thin red line work, but the newer one goes bold with thick pink lines ending in triangular shapes at the forearms. The gear mechanism on the arms is solid white on the old version and pink on the new one. The legs follow the same pattern. The older figure's thin red lines run down the thighs, boots, and even the back of the boots. Also, the soles are white on the boots. The new version features thick pink lines on the legs and boots, and the soles are pink. Moreover, there's white circuit detailing where the legs meet the torso on the old version, while it's pink on the new version. And the knee area is white on the previous version, while the new one has a pink finish. In regard to the hands, the Amazon version has completely white hands, while the new version sports a pink and white color finish. And the palm energy emitters are yellow and white. Lastly, the Amazon version's back patterns are primarily red, while the newer release switches them to white. As for the rest of the accessories, the old version's fisted hands are solid white, but the new one mixes pink and white. Also, the Amazon version's blast effects are a semi-transparent pink. However, the new release sports orange and red. Also, there's a dark pink piece with semi-transparent energy panels that plug into Nimrod's back from the Amazon 3-pack, and this is something the new version doesn't include. So there you have it. Both figures have many key differences, and both look fantastic. So honestly, I can't pick a favorite, but the new one holds up just as well as the original. So from what I've seen so far, I definitely recommend getting this new one. And for scale purposes, here's a look at what the deluxe Nimrod looks like alongside Juggernaut, which is another deluxe figure. And you can see how he scales alongside standard size figures, and in this case being Cyclops and Nightcrawler. We'll now begin looking at Nimrod in a series of poses. Then here he is with the blast effects. Next, here's the cyborg with the alternate head sculpt and the fisted hands. Then here he is with one blast effect in action. And here's another view of the figure. As for the articulation, the head sculpt unfortunately doesn't move in either direction. His arms raise up this far, almost to a 90-degree angle. Full arm rotation, bicep swivel, single jointed elbows, then a wrist swivel with a hinge. There's a diaphragm cut, which allows for some pivoting activity. And he can rotate there. He bends forward at the diaphragm just a little. And likewise, he goes backward just a little. The legs only go out to the sides this much, which is due to the thigh plating. However, they kick forward nicely, and that's basically to a 90-degree angle. And they go back nicely. Thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and the lower legs go back very far. Now that's impressive, especially for a large robot. As for the feet, the upward movement is very, very minimal. However, it goes down nicely. And you can get a pivot with a little bit of effort. As for the second head sculpt, it doesn't have a range of movement either. And that wraps up our full look at the Marvel Legends Deluxe Nimrod, now finally offered as a standalone release. From the striking collage-style box art to the razor-sharp sculpting, bold color work, and all the adaptive head sculpts and effects, this figure absolutely delivers. So, whether you're displaying him with that angular, battle-ready face or the classic neutral look, Nimrod stands out as one of those designs that just commands the shelf. Furthermore, the engineering, the presence, the sheer futuristic menace, everything about this release feels premium. And even with all the differences between this version and the 2020 3-pack, both hold up incredibly well. Honestly, whichever one you prefer, you're not losing. This new release hits just as hard and brings its own style to the table. As for the articulation, it's a little limited in various areas, but that's to be expected with large, beefy robotic figures, especially Sentinels. So if you're an X-Men fan, a Sentinel collector, or you just appreciate a figure that looks like it walked straight off the comic book page and into your display, this one is definitely worth picking up. And thanks so much for watching as always. I hope you all enjoyed the review, and if you did, please hit that like button and subscribe. See you in the next one.